'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the zoo, not a creature was stirring, not even a tree roo. The wallabies had nestled down into their beds. The bats fell asleep with feet above their heads. The lemurs snuggled together amongst their many ringtails, and the snakes were coiled together in piles of colorful scales. Camels and goats had headed inside for the night, and the ducks fell asleep as soon as their keeper turned off the light. But at the bobcat exhibit, some mischief was afoot. A short tail and tufted ears just couldn't stay put. Apollo the bobcat had swiped a set of zookeeper keys, and with them he crept out of his habitat with ease. It had been a year since he caught up with all of his old friends and was ready to eat, drink, and be merry with them again. He had connived and conceived to meet in the snow leopard den. All the animals had agreed to meet just around 10. So with a leap and a bound, he headed down the road. With a bounce in his step and a twinkle in his toes, Apollo arrived at the scene of red and green Christmas cheer. The leopards had been planning the decor for the night all year. The turacos had shown up to help string the lights, and the storks had hung ornaments from every possible height. The auditors made cakes and cookies full of carrots and fish, while the bush babies had brought fresh food on a festive Yuletide dish. The macaws flew about singing Christmas carols with glee, and the marmosets brought enough tinsel to cover 10 trees. The turtles and sloths were in charge of the gifts and had spent many hours wrapping toys during many slow shifts. The tamarins and iguanas shared colorful candy canes, while storks and eagles hosted cheerful holiday games. The dapper penguins won the best dressed, to no one's surprise, in black and white tuxes that always claim such a prize. The guineas made jokes that kept the kookaburra in stitches, and red pandas had dressed as Santas in their fuzzy red breeches. The serval and owl got the flamingos to pull a sleigh, with fennec foxes and gibbons leading the way. Peacocks and pheasants carved a Christmas ham, but the squirrels and the ganon were more interested in candy yams. The armadillos and the skunk gossiped about the gift exchange, and the fossa was introduced to the porcupine, who he thought was very strange. And amidst the Christmas cheer, Apollo couldn't help but smile at his friend's ability to celebrate the holidays in style. He felt his heart warm at the sight of such day, even more than any present or any new toy. Even though it would be a year before the festivities could be replayed, Apollo knew the joy and the laughter for the moment would not fade. For greater than time or distance are the friendships that we share, coming together despite our differences to prove that we care. So with bliss in his heart and a laugh in his shout, he gave a hug and a purr to each friend on their way out. The party had progressed into just before dawn, and eyes were getting sleepy while mouths filled with yawns. The animals made it back to bed just before the sun rose, and their evening of fun officially came to a close. Zookeeper smiled at their sleepy charges as they begin their day whispering Merry Christmas as they prepped the daily zoo buffet. Apollo's keeper scratched her head, since by this time the cat was usually awake, but she decided to let him sleep in. It was Christmas, for goodness sake. And so warm in his bed, Apollo smiled to himself, quite satisfied with himself as the zoo's party elf.